Howdy, all, and welcome back to the Sanctified podcast. Today, we're going to talk about St. Katharine Drexel, the second American-born saint to have been canonized. Katharine was born in 1858 on November 28th. She was the daughter of a successful Philadelphian banker, Francis Anthony Drexel. Her mother, Hannah Langstreth, sadly passed away only 5 weeks after Katharine's birth. Growing up, Katharine and her sister Louisa, who was the daughter of Francis' second wife, Emma Bouvier, had just about the best education money could buy at the time, given their family's wealth. They were even very well-seasoned travelers across both the U.S. and Europe, and throughout this, they practiced their faith devotedly, and they practiced spiritual and corporal works of mercy. That is to say, they shared their resources to help those less fortunate around them. Every week, the family would invite those in need into their house and provide food, clothing, and even financial assistance with finding a place to live. They also went to women who were too scared or maybe too proud to ask for help themselves in their town. How they picked those women, I don't know exactly, but I would have to guess that they probably just asked those who were already coming to them for help if they were aware of any others who needed help, but for one reason or another did not want to come and seek that help. When in her mid-20s, Katharine had to witness her stepmother suffer through cancer for 3 years before she passed away. From this, Katharine started to really see life in a new way. Despite all the money that her family had, nothing could stop the struggles and suffering that they endured during that time. And afterwards, Katharine threw herself into her faith even more. In 1884, Katharine's family visited the western U.S., and she saw how poorly Native Americans were treated. She wanted to make a change, but she wasn't sure quite where to begin. Then, her father passed away in 1885, leaving part of his $15 million fortune to charities and dividing the rest equally among his daughters. Now, just real quick, $15 million is a lot of money, but $15 million in 1885 would be about $500 million today. So yeah, they were a very wealthy family. Staying true to the faith that they practiced growing up, the sisters began by donating to the St. Francis Mission of South Dakota's Rosebud Reservation. But Katharine felt that still wasn't enough. Together, the Drexel sisters managed to obtain a private meeting with Pope Leo XIII in 1887, and I would presume that their wealth had a little bit of an influence on that, but obviously that's not recorded anywhere. It's just my personal take on it. And during this meeting, the Pope suggested that Katharine become a missionary herself. Katharine decided that she would help Native and African Americans when she returned to the States. She joined the Sisters of Mercy Convent in Pittsburgh in 1889, and in 1891, she took her first vows and officially dedicated herself to support the oppressed people that she witnessed. Now called Mother Katharine, she started the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament for Indians and Colored. From this point on, she wholly dedicated herself to this congregation until she passed away. By the time she passed, she had over 500 sisters placed in over 60 schools and had founded 50 missions in 16 states. Some of her accomplishments include opening St. Catherine's Indian School in Santa Fe, New Mexico, opening Xavier University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and financing the printing of 500 copies of a Navajo American catechism. So yeah, she was pretty busy in her commitment to providing for those that she witnessed being neglected or just kind of treated as less than other people. She wanted to make a difference, and she worked to make that difference. In 1935, Katharine suffered a heart attack, and she couldn't continue the same level of active participation in her foundations that she was used to. But she did record much of her life in notebooks, which help us know more about her, just like we knew more about St. Teresa of Avila for having written about her life. But it probably also helps that St. Katharine lived in the 20th century, so fairly recently. She finally passed away in 1955 at 96 years old. And unfortunately, neither Katharine nor her sisters had any children, and their fortune that supported the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, it went away. Now, I presume that they also didn't have any wills drafted that indicated that the financial support should continue. But again, that's just kind of my guess, because it seems kind of strange that the money would just evaporate from that cause as soon as they all passed away. Now, the order that they started still does continue to this day, and it helps people in 21 states and in Haiti. So it's not like all of their efforts went away. It's just the financial support that the family was able to provide just kind of dwindled because there was just no clear direction on what to do with it once they passed away. Now, since her life was recent, we do have the luxury of knowing a little more about her canonization process. And in December of 1954, John Cardinal Kroll introduced her to the Vatican and began the investigation into her life. This effort was helped because of Robert Guterman, who was a man whose family prayed exclusively to Mother Catherine to cure his inner ear damage. It was damage that couldn't be fixed any other way that they tried. And in 1974, he was miraculously cured. However, that wasn't quite enough for Rome. Later, Amy Wall came forward and revealed that she had been cured from nerve deafness through prayer to Catherine as well. And, well, with that new evidence, Catherine was canonized. Catherine was beatified November 20th, 1988, canonized October 1st, 2000. She's the patron saint of racial justice and philanthropists, and her feast day is March 3rd. There are relics from her in St. Raphael, the Archangel Catholic Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, and in the day chapel of St. Katharine Drexel Parish in Sugar Grove, Illinois. Now, one quick side note, some of you may be aware of a school called Drexel University, but I just want to let you know that is not one of the schools that she founded. It was actually founded by her uncle, Anthony Joseph Drexel, who was Francis Anthony Drexel's brother. It was just a wealthy family all around and a fairly philanthropic family as well. And that's kind of it for Catherine's story. It's a fairly simple one. There's not honestly a whole, there is a lot to it if you wanted to dig really deep and explore every cause that she supported or initiated. But suffice to say, the sheer number of her accomplishments in starting schools and missions, it really lends to her faith in Christianity and in Catholicism specifically. And to be honest, I feel like it's fairly motivating because, yes, she had a lot of money, but she was just a normal person. Like, none of her miracles occurred during her life. It was all after she passed away. So her miracles were granted from heaven. So that's evidence that she was living in heaven and so was a saint, just hadn't been recognized as such yet. So it's kind of motivational for just the average person. You don't have the excuse like, oh, well, this lady levitated, or this guy transformed a stick into a tree, or fought a dragon, or any of those. Like, no, she was just a normal person. She had resources, and instead of using them for selfish reasons to live a comfortable life, to live the life that she wanted and she really could have ignored any amount of suffering that she wanted to, but she didn't want to ignore it. She wanted to face it and make a change to help people. And that's something that anybody can do. You can do it. I can do it. It's not exclusive to certain people. We can all make a difference in our own little ways. In the words of Delmar from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's all I got. As always, I encourage discussion about St. Catherine in the comments or with those around you. Of course, you're welcome to subscribe. I would appreciate it because it really shows that you're supporting the channel. And if you have any other saints that you think I should look into, feel free to email me at sanctifiedpodcast@proton.me. Take care, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.